Okay, we can discuss it. We've got.
Okay, go for it.
Thank you, Sean. Good evening, everyone. We've got a program for next year, which perhaps we could even implement right away. So I think what we're going to do, in fact, we know we're going to go through this uh, program quite quickly, but give everyone an opportunity to discuss the different points there. If you've got any points there, maybe at the end we can get Sean to add it in. But I actually got this from Cindy Norcott quite a few years ago, and it made a lot of sense at the time and even now. So we've just adapted it for our business for the present. Sean, if you'd like to just take it step by step, and then we can go through it. Thank you, Sean. I'll hand over to you.
Okay, so it's the 12 tips for a terrific 2024 by Cindy Norcott. And the question is, so often people say, "Hi, how are you?" And the automatic reaction is, "I'm fine." And I always say that to my patients, and they're lying there and they're going, I go, "You can't say you're fine because you're in hospital, you just come out of theater, you're not fine. But under the circumstances, we'll accept that you're okay." But have you ever noticed you walk into a doctor's waiting room? "Hi, how are you?" "I'm fine." If you're fine, why are you sitting here? So be careful about what that question really means. Are you waking up tired? Are you permanently exhausted? I'm sure there's a few people that can identify over here. Be irritable, frustrated, and impatient. Driving to work in the morning? Yes. Lacking in energy and motivation. Fuzzy-headed and slow. This pipe up if any of these things resonate with you. You stressed? Are you hoping for 2023 to end? In the Queen's English, I think this could have been termed another annus horribilis. So here's the warning. A slower day is not coming. As Jim Rohn says, seasons come, seasons go. And what comes after winter is spring. What comes after spring is summer. What comes after what comes after summer is fall or autumn. And it happens every single year. So these crazy fast days, they're going to slow down anytime soon. So if this is how 2023 has been, how can 2024 be better? You don't like what you've got, change what you do. Again, Jim Rohn. You're not a tree. You don't like where you are or what you're doing, change. To get what you never had, you must do what you never did. So what are you going to start, stop, and continue? What would you like to say about yourself at the end of 2023 that you can't say today? Was it a good year? Was it a bad year? Have you got your to-do list for 2024? When I was doing my life coach, my health and nutrition coach course, they spoke about a to-do list, but they said they don't have a to-do list, they've got a to-da list. Because you tick off everything and you go, ta-da, everyone's done, instead of, okay, all these things I've got to do. Number one, you get rid of harbored resentments and unspoken anger. One of the best ways I've found to get rid of that unspoken anger, go for a run. Go and play squash. Go and hit a golf ball around the golf course or something. But get rid of it. And get rid of the harbored resentments. What's happened, happened. You can't change it. If it happened yesterday, tough, it's over. You can't change it. So no matter how much you want to live in the past, it's not going to change. So get rid of those harbored resentments, because the only person you are hurting is you. Address people whose faces enter your head at 2 a.m. Unless I get called out and have to go out on a call out, I don't generally see a lot of faces at 2 a.m. But forgive someone. If someone has hurt you, whether they're in the wrong, whether you're in the wrong, forgive them. Again, we know the words of Jesus. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And we need to live by the same rules. Forgive someone. If they've messed us around, if they've intentionally caused a problem for us, forgive them. If they've unintentionally caused a problem for us and they've apologized, forgive them as well. Forgive them if they apologize, forgive them if they don't. Again, it comes down to the harbored resentments. Only person that's being hurt is you. Take leave, create order, and unclutter your life. This is one of the things that I hope to do, because, yeah, I live in ordered chaos, and I've always got things that I'm going to get to one day, and it piles up. We never get there. Have some quiet time. Dream and set goals. Again, something that I need to do, where you zone out of the world, go for a walk on the beach if you want to get yourself in the right mind, but go on a retreat, go on a personal retreat, get out of your normal routine, sit down, dream, and set goals according to those dreams. There's a challenge. Give away 100 items before the end of the year. It could be quite an interesting challenge. Look around you. Look at the things around you that you maybe haven't touched for the last 6 months or so. Do you have 100 items that you can get rid of, give away before the end of the year? Old clothes, old shoes, old phones, maybe. Just something. Decide who your priorities are, not what, who. Make a list of your top 12 people. Include yourself. Plan some fun. You don't own your partner. Stop being overly critical. We're all unique. We all make mistakes. We all have our own way of doing things. Just think what life would be like if everybody was the same as me. That would be a very scary thought for me, if I thought that everybody around me was the same as me, because I wouldn't want that to happen to anybody else. Would you rather be right, or would you rather be happy? And again, some of the courses that I've been going through recently, if somebody says something and you know they're wrong, but they're too stubborn to listen to you, let them believe what they think is correct. You know the truth. And I tell this to my kids as well. When somebody calls you names and they say, ah, you stupid, you this, you that. Well, are they right or not? Because if they are wrong, don't argue with them, because you're never going to win that argument. Just say, okay, if that's what you think, if that's what you feel, that's fine, and leave it. Because first of all, that's going to stop the argument right there. And second of all, well, let it bug you. You're happy. If they want to get stressed, that's their problem, not yours. Live on purpose. Find your purpose. Do you know what your purpose is? If you don't know what your purpose in life is, do yourself a favor, get the book, The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. Work through it. It's an amazing book, and I probably need to go through it again at some stage, but I remember doing the Purpose-Driven Life course years ago when it first came out. And I found my purpose. And I try and live that purpose every day. And that's helping people in whatever way I can. If I can make a difference in somebody's life, that makes me happy. What's your purpose? Make a difference. Sunday school once they used to call it go mad, go make a difference. Set goals. One of the goals that I need to set is to sit down and set goals. What do you want to be, do, and have? And when? If your goals don't move you, you haven't got the right goals. Like when I did my run over the weekend, my goal was to complete a 10K. I didn't really have a time frame in mind, but I knew I wanted to do it within about an hour. But my goal was to be able to do the return section as well as I could, because the return path was not as easy as the start path. And I achieved that goal just by not looking at the top of the hill, but looking just in front of me and making sure that I kept one step going in front of the next step. Yeah, some of them were a bit slower than others, but I didn't stop and walk. Well, I didn't stop and just try and catch my breath. I stopped running, but I kept moving. So your goals need to move you. Do you have, what do they call them? Big, hairy, audacious goals, BHAGs. Decide what's enough. What are you chasing? You need to become more discerning. You can't chase everything. You can't go this way and then go that way and then go that way again. No. Become discerning. What is the most important thing? Find your 3 most important things. Learn to say no. This is one of my biggest challenges because it's a 2-letter word and one of the most difficult words I've ever come across to actually utter. Ask yourself, so what? If I don't do this now, so what? Is it going to make a difference? If it's business related, so what becomes, well, so what if I don't do this now? How will it affect my business? Or if it's something that's a bit trivial, so what if I don't do it now? I can do it tomorrow. I can do it next week. So what if I don't wash my car today? Is it going to fall apart? No. Are people going to look at it and go, ew, the car's dirty? So what? Who cares? So work out with the discerning part, so what? What if? Get rid of fear and greed. What's driving you? Do you have to have the latest gadget? Do you have to have the latest, fanciest car and the latest clothes and the new fashion that comes out? And what do you fear? Are you Chicken Little and fear the sky falling on your head? Or do you fear of what's going to happen to our country next week or next month or when fairy tale season comes about? Can you change what's going to happen if you fear it? Rather, face it. One of the definitions of fear is face everything and rise. That's the one I prefer over the other definition, which we won't do now. What can you take out of your suitcase? We're all going to Impact Summit next month. Those of us flying may take 7 kilos of hand luggage only. What do we take? What do we leave? What can you take out of your suitcase? So pretend that's what you're doing in life, in business. What is holding you back in your suitcase? Is it that, like my brother-in-law, whenever he goes somewhere, he likes to collect rocks? That includes when he flies. So do you need to have that 4-kilo rock in your bag? Is it doing anything? If it's got a chunk of gold in the middle, maybe you do want to take it with you, but if it doesn't, so what? Can you take it out of your suitcase? The things you own end up owning you. I know I'm guilty of this. I've got sentimental attachment to tools that I've inherited from my father and my grandfather and my brother-in-law. They're sentimental. I own them, but sometimes they can own me too. Slow down. Something else I battle with. I have so much to do that I better take my time. Is that old saying? More haste, less speed. Life is a marathon and not a sprint. So pace yourself. And I say these words almost daily to patients that I see who are in a healing phase. Life is a marathon. There's no rush. When you watch the comrades, guys, yeah, the front runners probably do run the entire 98 kilometers. But I can guarantee you, they do not run the same pace. They are not running the same pace at the end as they're running at the beginning. Very seldom will you ever see a marathon runner start at the front and win. Quite often, they start in the middle and they just keep going and keep going and keep going until they're in the front. They're not sprinting, because if you sprint, and I've learned this the hard way, if you sprint, you run out of steam very quickly and everybody goes straight past you. If you hold back, make sure you're not getting tripped up. Hold back, keep your pace consistent. You will be the one passing other people. Pace yourself. Don't exhaust yourself. Get the balance right. If you ride a bicycle, what happens if you put too much weight on one side? You're probably going to have a sore shoulder and a sore ear. Get your balance right. You're riding a bicycle. You're not carrying everything on one side, because trust me, when the body's out of alignment, problems happen. Have a mental health day every month. In other words, pull out of everything. Pull out of life. Turn off your phone. I look forward to that day. Turn off your phone. Get away from normal routine. Go and do something different. I had a lovely time recently when we did the run in Lake Eland, because one of the prizes that we earned was a zip line. That's not something that we do regularly. In fact, the last time I went down, it was about 4 or 5 years ago, if not longer than that. But for me, that was a brilliant day to get away out in the bush, running with nature, and then sliding down zips in nature, getting the adrenaline going, getting my mental health back just for a day. Makes all the difference. And if you're not into an adrenaline rush, well, come and sit on my front veranda if you want to. Just sitting on the front veranda, watching the sea, listening to the birds, watching the birds around me is enough to allow you to slow down. So whatever it is that you need to do to have a mental health break, do it. Find your golf course. Now, I don't play golf. I play putt-putt. or mini golf. Each one of those courses is a challenge. What's your challenge? What's your golf course? And how are you doing on it? Another saying by Jim Rohn, wherever you are, be there. Don't be sitting with your family and thinking about, I need to be doing this. I need to be, or next week I should be doing that. I wonder if this one's doing, what's going to happen on Sunday? What I need to plan for Tuesday? If you're with your family, be there. If you're doing a Zoom, be there. If you're doing a quiet time, be there. Don't let your mind wander. Wherever you are, be there, not somewhere else. Your health is your greatest wealth. And this, I'm in the fortunate position to be able to see this in action on a daily basis, because being sick is extremely expensive, financially, stressfully, mentally, pain-wise. It is expensive. The better your health, the greater your wealth. So eat. Don't eat junk food. Eat to live. Drink, preferably not alcohol, preferably not too many sodas, but drink. Because if you're not drinking enough water, you're dehydrating, leads to all sorts of problems. Think. Exercise this thing. It's a muscle. And that old saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. If you don't walk on a daily basis, you will get weak legs. If you don't lift weights, well, you're going to have a problem there too. If you don't use your brain, you get very fuzzy. So do crossword puzzles, learn something new, do trivial pursuits or whatever, but think, use your brain on a daily basis. Breathe. We get so hyped that sometimes we forget to breathe. My father used to do that. He would get so focused on something, he would literally forget to breathe. And he'd have to sort of have a jolt and remind himself, oh, you know, I need to breathe. And sometimes we do that. We get so focused on something that you don't breathe. Or you need to learn to breathe properly. I've learned that from running as well. If you're huffing, puffing, you don't get very far. You actually lose your stamina. If you're breathing slowly and deeply, makes a big difference. And just to be able to relax, take a deep breath, hold it, and breathe out. And feel the tension draining out of your shoulders. Breathing is underestimated. For those who have done natural birth, they've taught you how to breathe. And we need to learn to breathe again. Move. You can't just spend all day sitting, because sitting causes all sorts of unhealthy issues. Again, things I see regularly. You don't have to go and run 10 Ks a day, but you can take a walk around the garden. You can go for a walk in the mall. You can, if you're fortunate enough to be close enough, go for a walk near the beach or on the beach. Find a friend, go for a walk with them. But move. Don't sit still all the time. Don't be the common denominator. I can't remember if it was Jim Rohn or Zig Ziglar. He used to say, don't be a gray. Be a black, be a white, be a blue, be a brown. Don't be a gray. Don't even be a beige. Don't be the common denominator. If everyone around you is miserable, difficult, and stroppy, maybe you are the problem. Because, how do they put it? You are the average of the 5 people you associate with the most. So don't be like everybody else. If 20 people are floating downstream, you be the salmon swimming upstream. The dead fish float downstream. Develop your interpersonal skills. And I've just completed a course on personal development, which included a lot of this interpersonal skills. And I was actually chatting to somebody this afternoon saying, the sad part that I've found that I'm seeing more and more is that specifically in the medical field, because that's where I am, medical people are not taught how to deal with patients. We are not taught at school how to deal with other people. So you need to develop those interpersonal skills. We're in the business of talking to people. If you don't know how to do it, learn. Don't sweat the petty stuff. Or as I say, don't sweat the small stuff. If it's something that can be overlooked, that it's not a life or death thing, don't worry about it. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill. If you can ignore the petty stuff, do so. As long as it doesn't make a huge difference to the outcome. You know, if you want to, the answer is 5. How do you get there? Don't, is it 1 plus 4? Is it 4 plus 1? Is it 3 plus 2? Is it 0 plus? Don't worry about it. The answer is 5. Don't worry about how you get there. Give people the benefit of the doubt. Don't think that everybody's lying to you. Trust people. Just running out of time over here. Smile. Smiling is contagious. We all knew when the world came to an end that those other bugs were contagious and everybody had to cover up their smiles. Did you notice the rate of depressions that went through the roof? You can't smile just with your eyes. You've actually got to smile with your whole face. Because if it's over here, it doesn't mean anything. But just smiling, walk past somebody, give them a smile. It's fascinating watching how their mood changes. Hi, how you doing? So, you know, sometimes they do a double take and go, they spoke to me. How did that happen? And it just breaks the normal. I'm not looking at you because I don't want to see your face. Just smile. Makes all the difference. Positive thinking. Be conscious of your thoughts. We know that what goes in there is what comes out here. So be aware of your thoughts. It's too easy to sink into the negative. You make the world a better place by making yourself a better person. You can affect the mood of all those around you. Get rid of worry, guilt, regret, and the disease to please. I felt like I've been doing this all week, is trying to please everyone and putting out fires. And it doesn't work because the only person that gets stressed is me. So you stop worrying about other people. Stop feeling guilty because you said no. Don't regret the things that you haven't done because you can't go back and do them. If it happened in the past, it's happened. You can't forget the regret. Learn and improve next time. And you cannot please everyone all the time. And expect positive outcomes. Don't think about the worst case scenario. That's my job. I always tell my patients as well, medical people are negative. They think, they anticipate the worst. They plan for the best, but they anticipate the worst. If you're not medical, expect positive outcomes. What I do now is going to work. And it's amazing how often that little bit of faith, if you don't have enough faith at the moment, do yourself a favor. Watch the movie Faith Like Potatoes or read the book Faith Like Potatoes by Angus Buchan. That will get your faith going. Become an inverted paranoid. Paranoids always think about the worst thing that's going to happen. It's going to rain today, the cows are out. Twist it, reverse it. Think about the best. Let me end there for now, because I think maybe we can carry this on Sunday evening. And are there any comments or questions? But didn't take the fire out of your sails here, John.
No, well done.
Thank you, Sean.
Was very
Sure,
good.
that's amazing. Thank you very much.
I think we can stop taping, if that's okay.